So for this next art lesson, we are going to be creating some birch trees using tape, watercolors, and some salt. First step is to draw a horizon line. That's the line that separates the sky from the ground. So the bottom is going to be snow, top is going to be sky. The next thing is you're actually going to use tape, and you'll be given long strips of tape, and you can cut them into different sizes. And the first piece of tape I'm going to use to make the tree is the foreground tree. That's the biggest tree. You're going to have trees that are 3 different sizes. One big, one middle, one small. The big one goes in the foreground. That means it's going to start at the bottom of the paper, go all the way up past the paper, and then you can just wrap it underneath like that. Then what you'll do is start with the next trees, which is middle ground tree. That means the bottom of the tree goes in the middle. Press it down. And then the last tree is my foreground or my background tree. The background tree is the smallest tree, so it looks a little thinner. And that's going to go almost to the horizon line, but just a little bit farther down. Once you've got that down, then you're going to start to paint. You're only painting the sky right now, and then we'll end up painting the shadows too. So your sky can be any color you'd like. You can blend colors and mix them together. Feel free to do that. I always like to. Now, when you're doing this, you will actually have a cup of salt in front of you. And as you go along, every once in a while, when the paint is still wet, you are going to add some salt. So right where the paint is wet, you're going to add a little salt. And what's going to happen is that salt is going to soak up some of that paint and create this speckled look. So continue to paint. And add the salt. The salt only works when the paint is wet, so make sure you're doing it as you go along. You paint right over the tape. As long as it's pressed down, won't make a difference. So once your sky is done, then you're going to paint some shadows. The foreground tree is far enough down that the shadow won't show up, but the other 2 trees, you can add a shadow. All right. So the shadow, you're going to use the black, and you can mix in a little blue too. You're going to actually use the cover of your watercolors. You're going to add a little water. Then you're going to add a little black, just a little bit, mix it together, and you can add a little blue too. Mix it up. You want it really light. If you want to, you can use a practice piece of paper and test out the color that you'll get. It needs to be light. You don't want it to be too dark, otherwise it's going to look really funky. So at the bottom of the tree, you're going to pick a direction that your shadows are going to go. Both trees will have the same shadow going the same direction. So I'm going to pick my direction to be going this way, the opposite. And I just draw a long, thick line, just like that. Same with this one, going in the same direction, just like that. That's it. What you'll do next time is remove the tape and then add a shadow to your tree and lines too, so it looks more like a birch tree.